Type conversion. C programming may when we talk of in C programming when we talk of type conversion, that means converting one data type into another kind of data type. As you all know, we have several different kinds of data types in C, like we have int, we have float, we have char. So these under int we have several other categories like short int, then we have long int, float we have double. So we have various kinds of data types in C. Now within a program, there is no compulsion that you may use only one type of data type within a program. Within the program, you may require different kinds of quantities, and hence their data types may also be different. Because say for example, an employee's name would be character, his age would be an integer, his salary would be in floating. So within the same program we may require different kinds of data which may have different data types. So in short, we have to work with all these data types together within a single program. Now basically, so within the same program, when we are using different kinds of data types or datas of different types, there may be a requirement to convert them into a single data type. So that kind of conversion is known as type conversion. Now I will give you an example for the same to make it more clear. See, as I told you, constants and variables of different types can be used within the same C program, right? So basically we can mix different types of constants and variables within the same C program. Now if the operands, what are the operands? Say for example, I have an expression a plus b minus d. So in that case, a is an operand, b is an operand, and D is also an operand. So we also call them variables. We can also say that A is a variable, B is a variable, and D is a variable. So the value that A consists would be known as a constant, or the value that B consists would be known as a constant, or the value that D holds would be known as a constant. So basically I can say different types of constants or different types of variables or different types of operands are used within a same C program. So if the operands are of different types, the lowest the lowest category data type is then automatically converted to the higher type. As I already told uh, as I already discussed that the priority of the data type. So depending upon from the lowest priority data type to the highest priority data type. Say for example, I have integer, I have float, I have char. So among these, the lowest priority data type would be converted into the highest priority data type if all of them would be used together in the same expression. Just like I said, a plus b minus d. So if I assume that a is integer, b is float, and d is again integer, so in that case the lowest priority data type would be converted into the highest priority data type, and then they would be used in this expression. So this type of automatic conversion in C, that is automatically converting the lowest priority data type into the highest priority data type, is known as type conversion. It is also known as implicit type conversion. That is something which is happening implicitly. You do not have to do it explicitly by default. That is implicitly it is happening in C. So this is also known as type conversion or implicit type conversion. So basically when I say type conversion or implicit type conversion, it is the same. So implicit type conversion, something which is happening by default. Now if I assume a situation wherein I have three variables of three different data types. I have integer I, then I have float f, then I have double d, right? So these are the three different variables with different data types. So in that case, if I use these three different variables in the same expression, I into f minus d. So this is a different data type, this is a different, and this is a different, but together they are used in the same expression. So here implicit type conversion will take place. So I here will be automatically converted into float. I is that means the lowest priority data type, which is integer, would be converted into the higher priority data type, that is float. And further, the higher priority data type, that is float, would be converted into the highest priority data type, that is double. So basically, who is changed? The one which is having lower priority into what data type? Into the highest priority data type. So I here is integer, so by default it is converted into float by the C compiler. So I becomes float. Now float into floated is here. F is already float and IU is implicitly converted into float. So two floating data types would be multiplied. So the result of the multiplication of two floating point values would be a float. Now D is double and double is of the highest priority. So further this float would now be converted into a double implicitly, and then this double would be subtracted from this double, and finally the value that we would get as a result would be of the data type double. So this is the concept of type conversion in C. So if I look at the conversion hierarchy, now you would say what would be the priority, or what would be the hierarchy for conversion. So it is something like this. See, we start with short and char. That is, the data types at the lowest priority are short and char. Then comes a little higher priority, that is of int. Then one priority further higher is unsigned int. Then a little further comes long int. Then comes unsigned long int. Then comes float. Then comes double. And at the top of the hierarchy is your long double. So that means the least priority here is of the data type short and char, and the highest priority is of the data type long double. So whenever a type conversion has to take place, it happens in the following precedence. This is the following this conversion hierarchy. That is, the lowest priority data type would be converted into the highest priority data type, like this.